What's up, y'all? So they found another brother hanging in North Carolina. Now, I saw this story a couple days ago, but I thought that it had to be the same brother. This was the same incident. It wasn't a new one. This was the same one. So I just kept scrolling. But no, it's not the same brother that was found hanging in Raleigh. This is another one. This is another brother found hanging in North Carolina, man. And guess what? Guess what? They come to the conclusion of a suicide. Make it make sense. So this one is in Roanoke, North Carolina. Police investigating Roanoke Rapids hanging death. Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Police in Roanoke Rapids are investigating the death of a black man who was found hanging this morning. So this is a whole separate uh, incident, man. And they always say it's a suicide. They always say it's suicide. The one in Raleigh, they had cameras. You know, there was a jail right across the street, a homeless man, and they had cameras. So they said it's a suicide. So I mean, why can't they release the footage? You know, is it? I mean, like they could at least to put our minds at ease that this is really happening. That black men are really taking their lives, man. Is it true? I don't believe it. I just can't believe that brothers, are dropping like flies, man, just giving up. I can't buy that story. I just won't. I won't believe it unless until I see it with my own eyes. Brothers throwing a rope over the limb and hanging themselves. I just won't believe it.
The second time in less than a week, local law enforcement looking into the death of someone found hanging.
WRAL's Monica Casey is live in Halifax County, where the Roanoke Rapids police chief just wrapped up a news conference. Monica?
Well, the chief's main message here today is that they are still investigating exactly what happened in Roanoke Rapids this morning. He says they received a 911 call from a person who was not at the scene, but was close to the person who died. Police here in City Hall today identifying that man as 38-year-old Demetrius Fleming. They say when EMS and police arrived at that scene on Roanoke Avenue, they found Fleming hanging from a ligature. Right now, they will not say exactly what that ligature was. During this press conference today, the chief acknowledged the implications of the hanging death of a black man. Is there any indication that leads you all to believe that anyone else was involved?
We're treating this as an equivocal death investigation, meaning that we're not working from any strict assumption. We have to, everything is on the table, and we're pursuing any and all leads.
Man, y'all notice how every time they find somebody hanging, the police chief or the mayor of that city always look like this brother. Every time, man. Now, the brother said, we're not going to make any assumptions. Isn't that what they want you to say? That's exactly what they telling this brother. If you want to keep your job, you better say, we're not going to make any assumptions. We're not going to just say that this man was hung, by the Klan or something like that. We're not going to say anything about it. We're just going to say the investigation is ongoing and close the books. That's what they told this brother. I mean, go back and look. Go back and look at all the hangings and then look at the color of the police chief, or whether it was a police shooting. Go back and look at all the brothers that they have standing up in front of the camera, and they always say, they always back up the cop that, did the shooting, or they always say, "Oh, we're not gonna assume that it was a hanging or a lynching," but we can assume that it was a suicide. It's okay for us to assume that, but we can't assume as black people that this brother was hung, that he was lynched. Make it make sense. These little chocolate covered Edomites, man, these are your worst enemies. They're your worst enemies because, they look like you. You think he's your brother. But deep down, man, this brother, he got the spirit of a white man. Talking about, we're not going to make any assumptions. Come on, man. He couldn't even say that with a straight face. He knows there was a lynching. He knows that. And then they say they can't even mention he was hung with a ligature. They won't say it was a rope or a noose. You see what I'm saying? They won't even say they won't even call it what it was. They say it was a ligature, but we're not going to tell you it was a noose. You know, we're not gonna even give you that much. That's what we're up against, man. These devils are hiding, man. They're hiding. And then they got people like this who are the spokesperson. These are the spokesperson for the devil. That's what it is. This man was paid. He wants to keep his job. And, it is what it is. He's not going to say anything different. And you vote to put these people in office, man. Under Obama, we had more police brutality under Obama than under any other president. You see? Make it make sense, man. But, it's not a game, man. It's not a game. Rest in peace to this brother. I pray for the family. I'm to the point where I didn't even want to do this video because, there's nothing being done about it. There's nothing that's gonna change, you know. We just gotta maintain our faith in the Most High, and pray that He makes the time short. That's all we can do. But just the other day, man, I was driving back through the neighborhood, and there's a brother, you know, in the dark, man, just jogging out up and down the street in the dark, man. And I just don't understand with all the things that's going on. You think brothers would take extra precaution. You would think that sisters would take extra precaution for their safety. If the police is not gonna put a stop to these lynchings, if we can't depend on our mayors, our governors that we put in office, then you got to be responsible. You have to be more responsible for your own safety. You got to take accountability for your own safety. Don't leave the house, by yourself after dark, certain hours of the day. Don't just assume that you're safe because you're a man. Those days are over, man. Those days are over. But what y'all think? Was this a suicide, or are they trying to hide it? Are they hiding this? Do you think they have footage? Because nowadays there's cameras on every corner, man. They got footage of this stuff, so they're hiding from us.